What is good? It is your boy, Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com, and I'm here for the third and final beat that I will structure out just for you guys to understand how to structure beats properly for trap music. Okie dokie. So let's get on to it. Okay, so we got here is this loop right here. It has about 3 to 4 components of it melodically. And then it's followed up with these drums. Cool, awesome. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up all my drums into individualized tracks, tracks. So basically split by channel. So you right click on the pattern one, you go to split by channel, and voila, you have everything tracked out for you so you can place it on the playlist efficiently. Okie dokie. I'm going to get rid of all that. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the full track that the loop is, and I'm going to bring in the individualized tracks. Cool. So I have the marimba track right here, which is the harmonic structure. Cool. I'm also going to bring the flute. And last, this pluck part. Do some adjusting, volume adjusting. Cool. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the tracks. Obviously, I'm going to have the marimba. The marimba is the main component of this track. Okay, so this is basically going to loop throughout the entire beat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the marimba with the flute and hear if I want my introduction to carry both the marimba and the flute. You know what? In this case, now I wouldn't normally do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have every single loop here, so all 3 of them, actually play throughout my entire intro. Because what I'm feeling is a bang of a hook or a verse to come next after these 8 measures, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off this excess here. I'm going to be manipulating the 8 bar loops here throughout the grid. And what I'm going to do, I'm just kind of feeling just the drums just smashing in right after the intro. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate that. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I stay organized by actually labeling the structure of my beat. Okay, just by doing these little things will really help you know where you are in context of what the structure is. Okay, because if you're not labeling it and you're new to structure, you're gonna kind of get lost, and yeah, exactly, you're gonna get lost and you're not gonna know, okay, what is the verse, what is the chorus, what is the interlude, so on and so forth. Okay, so right here, this is intro. All right, so next up, I'm going to actually bring in all of my drums right here. Now, I haven't decided whether or not this is going to be the hook or the verse. I think it probably most likely would be the hook, but let me feel it out. Hook or chorus, okay? I've been saying hook for the past 2 videos. It's a hook or a chorus. Cool, now I want to keep going here. Good. So now what I want this to be the hook. This is going to be an 8 measure hook, okay? Or chorus. I'm going to label this as a chorus. Number 3, or excuse me. I'll also put /hook so that you don't get confused over what a chorus and a hook is. It's the same thing, okay? Love the way that smashed though with that open hi-hat. now I'm going to have a verse part, okay? So this is going to be verse number 1. What I'm going to drop out is basically just about everything except the clap and maybe this cute hi-hat here. So right now I have this hi-hat and I also have this hi-hat. See what I mean? Now, just for this structure purpose, I want some clap and also want something that kind of drives the track forward, but not in sort of a sense that is just a straight eighth note drive forward. I kind of want this, the first part of this verse to breathe a little bit so that the listener can kind of get more of a feel and a vibe for what the rapper or the singer is singing about, rather than just a whole bunch of drums. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna actually have a listen. Perfect. All right, then I'm going to cut out everything here. Good. Now everything's basically going. Now I have two options here. I can basically just let everything kind of just knock, which would sound good, or I can basically ramp everything in. What I mean by ramp is I can bring in sounds little by little, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have just everything just go wild, okay? So I'm just going to copy all of my drums and then copy over the marimba and the flute. Now, notice here what I did as well. During the verse part, there is no pluck, okay? So in the chorus part, the pluck is only going to be in the choruses, okay? Okay, so we have a verse here. Here it comes. Now what I'm going to do, right after this verse part, I'm going to have an interlude or a break part right here. That is chill. Break. Basically, everything's going to loop over, but only in an 8-bar cycle rather than a 16-bar cycle, okay? Hence the reason why I'm actually making the loops smaller or shorter. You know, I might actually feel, I feel kind of, I think actually just having this, is this 4 bars or 8 bars? Let's actually take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so never mind. It would actually have to be the full-on loop for it to be 8 measures. 4 measures for a break for this style of beat would actually be a little bit too short, okay? So we're going to have 8 measures, and then basically I'm going to have my hook again. Then, actually, let me actually play around with this. So, what I want to do in this sort of break part is I want to build up a little bit of tension without actually bringing in any form of reverse crashes, white noise, or risers or anything like that. And there's few ways that you can do that, but the easiest way to do it if you're actually using loops is to actually just cut out one part of one of the loops or both of them, one measure to one half measure before. So if this is one measure from 40 to 41, a half measure would actually be half of that. So it would be like that. So let's actually listen to what it would be. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so basically this marimba cuts out, and when it cuts out, it's going to make the next hook sound that much more powerful. But before we get there, let me actually put this chorus number 2 / hookito or hook. Sorry. Anyway, now I'm just going to literally just drag over my chorus. I'm not going to mess with the hook or the chorus, you know, in any way, shape, or form. I like the way that it sounds just bumping like that. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to have another verse here. Verse number 2. And now I'm just going to have just the marimba and the flute actually play without any drums, okay? This is basically distinguishes the first verse from the second verse. No drums at all. Actually, I'm going to try and take out the flute as well. Now, it sounds a little bit too sudden when I take the flute out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of flavor in the high end so that it sounds a little bit smoother by adding a crash. Or in this case, it would be an open hi-hat. Just have that, just like it just, what's great about adding this open hi-hat, it's just like, boom, shock. It's out. You know what I mean? Or the flute's out. And I'm just going to copy over the second half of the verse. Going to have another interlude here. Interlude here. Now, I'm kind of feeling I want the interlude actually this time to have no flute. You know, I like that. I like that in general. So what I'm going to do actually not in the first verse, in the first interlude as well, break. This is the reason why it's sweet to have everything labeled, because if I'm looking here and subconsciously I wanted to actually start with messing with stuff over here, that's not good. I would actually started messing with the verse. I don't want to mess with the verse. I want to mess with the interlude by adding a open hi-hat right here. That just, you know, hits you right in the face with no flute. Another chorus. Boom, boom, boom. Now what I have to do basically, because my second verse is very, very similar to my interlude part, so I don't want to confuse the listener. I'm actually going to bring in some drums here. So I think I'm actually just going to do something very similar to what I did in the first verse, actually, if not the exact same thing. Okay, good. So it works. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding stuff in context what the similarities between the certain parts are. Like, you know, I didn't want the second verse to be mistaken for an interlude part. So I just switched it up a little bit by making it a lot more similar to the first verse, which actually has the claps. You see that? The second verse and the first verse have the claps and the second hi-hat, okay? All right. Okay, good. And then basically after this, I'm probably going to do a double chorus. Okay, so I'm basically going to take this, bring it over here, label this chorus, oops, have my caps locks on, chorus number 3. Okay, chorus number 3. Yeah, so I'm going to do a double chorus, but I'm going to do it in a slightly different way, okay? So I'm going to have a double chorus or a double hook where the artist basically repeats what the actual subject of the song is. And also, I'm going to drop out some drums right at the beginning of the second half of the chorus, or in the second 8 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second 8 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the end, okay? Actually add another open hi-hat right there, so it actually bumps a little more. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because if if the hook is anywhere near the first two measures here, then it's going to feel, the song's going to feel completely different, but it's still going to have that sort of hook characteristic to it. So basically like the words and stuff like that. So the thing that's being repeated, which is the message of the song, which usually is the chorus or the hook. But it's going to feel completely different just by dropping out the drums. Boom. Done. Now, there's different ways that I actually could have done I could have added an outro and stuff like that, but I wanted this track to be more so of an in-your-face type of track, and when it's done, it's done, you know what I mean? Now, the things that we can do, we could add actually basically just, we could put everything basically on the one. So actually, let me show you what I mean. Say we had this, hold on. We could do this, copy this, take everything out, and just shorten these. And then we're going to have to actually narrow out the playlist a bit, or widen out, the playlist. So basically it's just the very first beat of that last measure. So it would be something like this. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, that's a little bit too short. So that would actually be that would be only one beat. Let's try and actually do, this would be a quarter note. Yeah, and that'd be it. That doesn't sound very natural to me. Send it up. Yeah, so you could do that, but it sounds like, really, really lame. Now, there's other things that you could do to kind of, to make it sound a little bit more natural, but we don't really need to do that. That's only if you have say just like one long chord that's just going 1, bling, 2, 3, 4, and then done. You see what I mean? But we don't, because our harmonic structure basically, or the chord structure is actually not chords. So meaning 2 or more individualized notes played at the same exact time. It's actually just it's a melody, really. So when it's actually kind of dealing with the melody and stuff like that, the outro that I tried to do right there is not going to work, okay? So it's just best to just fade it out just like this. Done, okay? All right, so this is the very last structure. So in this one, we did something that was, basically very similar to the last one. Okay, I actually kind of want to listen to the intro again. Another thing you could do too, but the problem with doing this is that it's going to be hard for the artist to kind of figure out exactly where the hook or the chorus is, but you could just literally have it just come in like this. But it's a little too busy, you know what I mean? I want, like, just for your sake, especially if you're more at the beginner level, it's always best just to ease the listener into the beat rather than just come out smashing. But you can if you wanted to, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm just going to delete all that, and then we're good. Okay, so this is the structure. Nothing too fancy. It utilizes just about everything that I wrote for it, which is nice. And the biggest thing is we just literally took out drums. We put drums back in. We took out some parts of the melody to create a little bit more of suspense or anticipation for the next part, which is a really powerful thing if you want to add a lot of bump to your tracks and stuff like that without using any form of like risers or like reverse cymbals that all that sort of stuff. Okay, so, all right. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you found any of this useful at all. And this is Mr. Friends from MrFriendsProductions.com, and I will see you in the next module. Peace out.